All right, I'll just start recording this. So we don't trade the first candle, so let it just play out. All right, good morning, guys. Today is, when is today? Friday, April 7th, and we are trading FOMC live. So ideally, we just want the first 5-minute news candle to pass. And then we need to wait for the next 5-minute candle to see what it does. And then we'll enter the trade on the third 5-minute candle after news. So we need two 5-minute candles to pass. But you can see currently we are in a supply zone for US 30. And if we zoom in here, you can see that price rejected from the 30-minute bullish high and the hourly bullish low. So that's where price came down, picked up liquidity and shot up. So ideally what I'm looking for, if the first 5-minute candle, if this 5-minute candle is heavily bullish, I'm looking for the next 5-minute candle to retrace down. And afterwards, I'm looking to continue. So ideally, if this closes as a bullish candle, I expect the next 5-minute candle to be bearish to retrace. And then for the third, we'll be buying US 30. That's only if this candle closes as a bullish candle. So ideally, same, looks like my gold chart is frozen on here. So same thing as EU, right? EU is doing the opposite of what US 30 is doing. And you can see EU as well came down here, picked up liquidity during in this demand zone and shot all the way up. So ideally the same thing for EU. If this closes as a bearish candle, I would look for the next candle to be bullish. And then at that point, on the third candle, I would be looking to sell. So ideally here, we are trading with the trend. So in that we are following what the first 5-minute candle, the trend given by the first 5-minute candle. So ideally, this is just a waiting game. Yeah, it looks like gold is frozen for me. And today, definitely be careful, depending on what you're risking. Today, I'll be going for higher TPs and higher stop losses. So for US 30, I'll be going for 100 pips take profit, 100 pips stop loss. For gold, I'll be going for if I get a trade on gold, but the chart is frozen. So for EU, 50 pips stop loss, 50 pips take profit. That's if we get a trade. So if we do expect the next candle to be bearish, so looking here at US 30, you can see we are in supply zones. So if we do expect the next candle to be bearish, so that would be a risky move, right? Because ideally during heavy news days like this, they try to trap people. So if you're taking a sell for the whole 50 pips, but it's definitely it's much safer to wait for the next 5-minute candle. But I do expect, so I'll just draw this markup right here. So you had this spike to the upside. The next 5-minute candle retrace somewhere to, so I do see a weekly bullish low here. And then so this would be the next candle, and then this is the area that I would be buying US 30 for continuation. But I definitely want, okay, so this is perfect, right? So it's US 30 is coming to a daily bearish high. This candle is closing in 34 seconds. So let me see, I'll go to my trade manager.
So are you looking at it at selling it or
Yeah, so I expect the next candle to be bearish. And then so ideally, I'm looking to continue buying because you can see it's heavily bought, but I expect a retracement. So the next 5-minute candle should be, if it's supposed to play out how it's played out 90% of the times when I've back tested, I do expect a retracement. So I do expect retracement here. I'm trying to see if I'm still waiting. The only thing with US 30, it can keep, this can be one of those. I feel better waiting for the next 5-minute candle, but I will enter into a sell here. My auto trading is off. Fuck. I know it's like that. Yeah, but that would be the sell right there. Just realized my auto trading is off, so
Mine is.
it should be in profit right now. So this is 100 pips. Take profit 100 pips stop loss. And the trade is in profit about 30 pips, no drawdown. My trade copier is literally off, but it's fine. So for the next candle, the next would be a buy because this is the same pattern that it does. But the trade is in profit 567. The trade is in profit 30 pips. So keep in mind they can reverse this. So remember when you're 50% in profit for our trades, you should set break even. So this trade was no drawdown. What is that? 566 down to 5. So it went up. We are up 36 pips in profit. Yeah, I missed that trade because my trade copy is off. That's fine. I'll try to catch the move back to the upside. So I'll just fix that. And there you go. It's still dropping. So here's a question, right? Where is it headed to? We have a weekly bullish low here. So this is the zone where it's most likely supposed to retrace from. So that's fine. Let it keep. So right now we should be 50 pips in profit. So go ahead and set break even or secure a portion of it. So 567. Yeah. So we are 50%. So ideally that's 50 pip profit. And ideally I wanted to go 1% risk today, but this trade is still going to count because I did call it. Well, personally, I did not enter it because it didn't give me the chance to. But that's the trade for today during NFP. And you can see no drawdown trade. We are up about 60 pips in profit. I don't know if Audrey is in here. Audrey, if you're in here, I don't know if you took the trade on our account. But if
Hey, I
not,
don't know what's happening, but on my MFF, let's say every time I want to take any trade, either
mhm.
gold, US 30 and NAS froze. So let's say I get a message like off code.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's fine. We'll catch the next one. Yeah, so this trade is 50, 60 pips in profit, or what is that?
That's crazy because I would have took the trade. It's between two trend lines I have, but I missed it too. I got on late.
Yeah, so that's, but US 30 should now retrace the upside after this candle. Let me see something. Let's see, catch. We have a minute to go before that candle closes. Uh, Geez. Oh, okay. Can you guys still hear me? I think I'm in and out.
Yes.
Okay. So this trade is currently what? 567. We are currently 60 pips in profit. So the next candle, I do expect the next candle to go up. So the other thing, we do have 3 other bank holidays today. Two. But if it's to play out how the other NFPs or heavy news days play out, I do expect the next candle to be bullish. However, if you look at my chart right now, we are at around. So the best thing would be for this candle to come up and close above the weekly bullish low. Okay, so I'm testing out a buy right now on US 30. So just secure this position if you're already in. So this
Come
position
on,
should be
sell?
at break. Yes, yes, yes.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I'm already out of that one.
So that's the first trade. The second trade, the one that I'm in, is a buy right here. So if you already made profit on that one trade, either be done for the day or do not risk your whole profit for this trade. So this again would be a filler buy at first until we close above the weekly bullish low that's above here. So the confirmation would be at around 33,517. So this right here is just a week, is just a filler buy for now, 50. So 100 pips.
You know what?
Take.
I had my break even into profit like around 1100, and it closed it with $419. So that tells me the slippage with this broker is just horrible.
Yeah.
I'm like, how does this happen? But anyhow,
If we get a good closure above the weekly bullish low, I will scale in with a larger lot size. But right now I'm currently in a buy with a filler lot size. My stop loss is all the way down here below the candle that broke the news.
so would you buy it? Okay, yeah, up to about 50%. Would you say to about the previous day high?
No, if this thing takes off, it's gonna take off. It's going all the way, blasting
Oh,
through the daily bearish high and all the way up. So for this particular trade, I will hold till in any case, but there you go. I'm holding till full take profit for this trade because it's ideally playing out how I've analyzed heavy news days. So I'm very confident in this trade. The reversal is always tricky because price does not always have to retrace. So what they normally do here, they normally try to trap people who try to catch the sell. So that's why I told you guys for this sell we're taking, instead of the 100 pips, just go for 50 pips or 30 or 40 pips. But right now US 30 should take off.
take off. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
yeah, I'm up about $400. I'm moving it to break even. Hopefully, I didn't do it too soon.
yeah, it should keep pushing up. I don't know if the gold chart for me is still frozen. Oh, gold is okay. There we go. For this trade, we are up. What is that? We are up 30 pips. Keep going. So if we do get, closure above this weekly bullish high, so let me go to the 1 minute and see. We probably had a 1 minute candle that, so this 1 minute candle closed above. So if this one retraces around the weekly bullish low and closes above, we should get a spike to the upside. The only thing stopping or keeping US 30 down is this daily bearish high, but I do expect them to break past that. See if I can hide. Oh, it's still a drawing. Okay. So personally, I did miss the sell, but the sell went up 60, about 70 pips, so 567. Yeah, the sell went up 70 pips in profit. The buy is currently up 30 pips in profit.
Now, would you get in if you haven't got, or if you got broke even?
If I broke even where?
Well, I was in the trade and I moved my break even a little bit into profit, and it came back and
For
closed
what?
out
For the buy?
Yeah. So would you get in again or set it out? Is it too late, you think?
That's well, all I'll say is that use the weekly bullish low to tell you if you're gonna get back in, right? So the weekly bullish low is at 33,517. So that's what but you see right now we're closing above the weekly bullish low on the 5 minutes. So I do expect US 30 to keep pumping.
Okay.
And there you go. What is that? It's 40 pips in profit. Let me see how my account that's copying the signals is doing. Okay, still at around break even-ish. So. So what are we at? Okay, we are 35 pips in profit on the buy. There you go. 40 pips in profit for the buy. So this is where you should start thinking about securing half or just setting break even. But I do see, so keep in mind the weekly bullish low hasn't been tested. So we just had a candle that closed above the weekly bullish low at around 33,517. So price can come back and retest that. So we just need to see how this 5-minute candle will close. So if I turn these markups off, we do
I
have a
stopped
daily.
out at break even twice, so I'm waiting for the retest before I get back in.
Okay. Yeah, and so some of these trades, like especially during heavy news days, more than likely you can get faked out. But that's why I'm using a heavier or a larger stop loss than I normally use. And especially right now, because it played out exactly how I expect news to play out. You have a spike, retracement, and continuation. Like I'm not worried about setting break even for me because the pattern is playing out exactly how I expect it to play out. The only issue is A, it's a Friday, B, we have other bank holidays. But other than that, I do expect US 30 to keep pushing up. EU, so EU did the opposite, right? We had a strong bearish candle. We had a retracement that created well, that's not a bullish hammer candle, but we did have a lot of buyers down here. So instead of EU continuing, EU is moving back up. So this is actually good because if I'm expecting US 30 up and EU is ideally not moving down consistently, then to me that kind of makes me also feel good about my buy. So I'm up 50 pips in profit. There you go. So if this blasts past the daily bearish high and closes above, we should hit full TP for that trade. Let me see what I want to do here. If I'd taken the sell, honestly, I would just secure this trade at break even. But because I missed the sell, I just want to ride this thing to full take profit. Let's see. I will just set break even for me. Okay, so my trade is break even. I'm not securing half or anything. I'm just letting this trade ride. But keep in mind the weekly bullish low hasn't been tested yet. But we do have the previous daily high that's holding price up also. The only issue is that we have this supplies within a supply zone where price is currently, and above that we have the daily bearish high. But I'll just let my trade ride to full TP. But if I had taken the sell, because I would have been up about what? Because I'm risking, I added a lot size here, so ideally I'm risking 1.25% of my account. And that's what I risked during news days. Last time you guys saw that we made, I think it was during what, CPI or whatnot, we had a 1.25% return. So ideally the sell, I was going to risk 1.25 and secure half, around half. So if I had done that for this particular trade, I would have closed half right now. But that's fine. Let's see. For now, I'll go ahead and update. So yesterday, right? So we did have two losses yesterday. So one for 0.5. That was US 30, 0.5 minus point what minus 0.5%. And we took a loss on EU for minus 0.75%. But so that led to a total loss for the day of minus 1.25. However, I did send out this other sell on EU after the live session was over. As when is that? Yesterday, if I scroll up in the Discord, right? So after I sent out this sell, the markup for the loss we took, I did see that, hey, price closed below the 9 EMA. We had a retest of the 9 EMA and closure below. So this is where I sold EU. And then I did say down here, I'm selling EU again for 20 pips, take profit and 20 pips stop loss. And then I did say during the live session that I would either look for a lower high to be established on US 30 or to get an entry on EU, and then I would enter into a trade that ideally would cover the two losses we took. So for this one trade right here, I took it with a, what is it, 1.25 risk. And then that trade just had a little bit of drawdown because this is where I entered, went up a little bit, and then melted all the way to the downside. And early this morning, that trade full take profit. So that's where I marked this up. So yesterday was ideally break-even day. Despite the losses, let me see where US 30 is. Okay. So I'm still at break even on this trade. This candle did not play out how I expected it to play out, because normally this candle after the retracement, you want either of these two candles to be a massive, massive bullish candle. But this weekly bullish low, that's where price is being attracted to. But I'm still holding this trade at break even. So if I'm hit with break even, I'll just get break even for the day. So the first trade, I did call it, but because my copier was off. So let's see how it went. So 100 pips, I did say secure half, secure half. So we did get 70 pips in profit. So securing half at 50. I'm trying to do the math here.
I'm up 5 on that situation. I just tried to scale in, but I stopped out. I did a small stop loss at 165 though, so that's nothing.
Okay. Also keeping the other thing about NFP, we normally have a reversal before New York session. We normally have a reversal, and price comes back to the pre-news levels. So just keep that in mind. So I'm also watching out for if we do get a 5-minute signal sell on US 30, I will close this trade. But normally you have some structure created. So some structure to the upside, a little bit of consolidation, and then you see price signs of price retracing to pre-news levels. So if we do get a 5-minute sell on US 30, I will close this buy and then I will sell, because normally price retraces to pre-news levels either before New York open or sometime after New York open. So just need to keep an eye out on that. I'm trying to calculate the return on the first trade.
Yeah, it looks like US 30 is producing a reverse, a sell opportunity.
Yeah, however, for any sell, I need a closure below the 9 EMA and retest of the 9 EMA.
Yeah,
But
okay.
you can see this move up is not that heavy. This move up is only what? Is only like 100 pips. That's nothing for news. So, it's ideally because we have bank holiday. This move should have been bigger. This move should be like a 200 pip move or 250 pip move. This news move is only like 100 pips or 120 pips. That's nothing.
Gotcha.
And given that it's Friday, we might not have a retracement today. And given that it's a bank holiday, in any case, we might just have continuation to the upside and then retracement probably coming in on Sunday or something. So I'm still bullish on US 30 until we do get a 5-minute closure below the 9 EMA and retest and closure below the 9 EMA. That's the only time I would be looking at that. I'm trying to calculate this result so far. So we secured half. 20 lots. Let's see how much that would be with a 1%. Okay. So with securing half with the other sales, so this is just 0.5. So either way, whether you took the first, whether you were able to take the first trade or even this trade, you should be up at the very least 0.5 for the day. And it's during a heavy news day and it's during a Friday. So whether you miss the first trade with me and just entered this buy, either way, you should be at the very least, you should have been up 0.5% for the day. The only reason for me this trade is at break even is because I missed the sell that went up about 70 pips. So that's the only reason. But if not, if I'd taken, because I would have closed the other trade at about 0.5 or 0.75, and then this trade, I would have secured half around this zone and I would be up maybe 0.8 for the day. So the only reason I have this trade at break even and I'm holding is because I missed the sell. But if you guys were able to catch the sell and then catch the buy, um, you should be well up in profit.
Even though your analysis that it should retrace back to the normal levels, you still wouldn't take a sell, right?
No, until I get a 5-minute signal, sell signal, which I don't see happening soon. And even then, for the 5-minute sell signal, I need closure below the 9 EMA and retest of the 9 EMA and closure below. And keep in mind, we do have a weekly bullish low here. So I did say, so when this candle broke up, I did say that we haven't, so you see exactly how my markup is. So we had closure above and I did mark up the retest of the weekly bullish low. And guess what, Light? Look at how the 9 EMA is coming. The 9 EMA is coming up to the weekly bullish low. So I do expect when the weekly bullish low is tested, hopefully I'm not taking out at break even because that's where my buy is. But when the weekly bullish low is tested, this will align with testing of the 9 EMA. So at that point, we have a closure above. This thing will keep either skyrocket or just trend to the upside. So that's why I'm not really looking for sells. Because to me, the weekly bullish low is a high time frame. Actually, it's the highest time frame that I trade. And for me, that supersedes all of these other zones up here. So it supersedes the daily bearish high, it supersedes the supply zones, but I need to see what happens when price comes to the weekly bullish and price, just headed there right now. So the only thing with my break even is that I can get faked out and price keeps going back up. But let's see what happens at the weekly bullish low. I'll just zoom out. Hmm. Oh, so yeah, so gold is closed. So EU is pushing up. So this is what I want US30 to do. So EU, so if I was trading news, I wouldn't have traded EU because actually if we did trade EU, we would have gotten stopped out, right? Because ideally what we are looking for is bullish or bearish candle, retracement and continuation. You can see EU, if we took a sell on EU after this trade, it could have easily been taken out. But keep in mind, see how this candle closed above the hourly bullish low. So it's not even a trade that I would have looked at taking because this 5-minute candle closed above the hourly bullish low. And then we had a lot of demand zones above there. So Okay, so look at that exactly, right? So that candle tested the weekly bullish low exactly to the pip and then closed above. And then guess what? The next candle, the next 5-minute candle opened, tested the weekly bullish low exactly where it is. Um, so if I turn this to off, this is where the weekly bullish low is, right? So these candles are rejecting exactly where that is. So if these candles are to hold, they're picking up liquidity. So the worst thing, I'm still bullish on US 30. The worst thing they can do now is just fake people out who are buying around this zone, because they can easily wick price down to stop people out and then continue to the upside. So I am still bullish on US 30, but it's literally rejecting from the weekly bullish low. Yeah, so I'm still holding. In any case, I should have, when I saw this, I could have entered with another bigger lot size, but it's fine. I'll just hold this. So right now I do expect some liquidity to the upside and volume to the upside. So we are approaching the previous daily high. If we do close above the previous daily high, I do expect some increase in liquidity for the continuation to the upside. And you can see this daily bearish high and this supply zone has been retested a couple of times. So if price gets back in here, it will break through the daily bearish high zone and straight to our TP. So honestly, for any retracement for US 30, um, for any retracement on US 30, we either need to see a lower high created on US 30, or we need a 5-minute signal, sell signal to show up. But right now you can see at the very least, price is being supported by the 9 EMA. We had a rejection off of the weekly bullish high. So this could have actually been a zone to just take 10 or 20 pips, like enter in with a larger lot size and just take 10 or 20 pips. But as of now, I'm not scaling in or anything. I'm just holding on to this position that I have. See, it's 9:02. If I remembered gold was closing today, like there was no need for me to do gold markups. Oh well. Okay, let's see. This is the 5-minute time frame. Save this. Oh, so I need to change this to the hourly. Alright. So if we look on the hourly, right? So if we are to complete structure, US 30 is likely to come around the weekly high, which I believe is where, no, it's not where our TP is. So the weekly high at around 33,690 or 33,680. So if we are to complete this structure to the upside, right? Because you have this drop down and then you have some ranging during the hourly. So if we are to complete structure, we should come back up here around 32,680. Scrolling further to the left. Okay, so but keep in mind overall, even on the hourly time frame, we do have a big structure to the upside, to the downside that still needs completion. So I'm trying to see where they can grab liquidity. daily bullish low. So if we do come up here, we can create that double top on the hourly, right? So price can come around the 33,680 area, 33,660, create a double top, and then spike down or move down to complete this hourly structure, right? Because right now on the hourly, you can see we've just been trending up and up and up. Now we are ranging. We can possibly create a double top on the hourly before reversal to the downside. So the double top would ideally be around the current weekly high. And up there we can see we have a 30-minute bearish high, 30-minute bearish low. We have Monday high, and we have the current weekly high. So US 30, if it breaks this daily bearish high, that's where we're likely to head before any reversal. So what I would want to see is this continuation to the upside, and then we get a 5-minute sell signal around this zone. And then at that point, like around 33, 659, 660. And at that point, I would be looking to sell US 30 and possibly even hold it longer for move back to the downside. So let's see the news release, what the news release had. So NFP on Friday, non-farm employment. Okay, so it was better than expected. So this would be good for the US dollar, right? So that's why you saw a dip in the price of EU, right? When this news was released. So if we go on the detail, right? Let's see. No, not there. So actual greater than forecast is good for currencies. That's ideally why we saw that tank on EU, because pushed up. However, EU, if we look at EU right now, EU reversed to the upside. So it's also, that news was also good for the US 30 for indices, for US based indices, because it's ideally supposed to mean that the economy is doing well. More people are getting jobs. However, based on everything that's been going on with the banks failing, with a bunch of countries trying to get rid of their US dollars, and just picking to settle debts and transactions with their local currencies. I think right now they're just propping up the US dollar. So I do expect the US dollar to reduce in value for the short term, but eventually I do expect the USD to recover. Ideally, because it's because it's the US. So one thing I learned not to do is to bet against the United States. So even when I see all this news about countries wanting to settle their bills and debts in US dollar, in their local currencies, yeah, sure, that's going to affect the US dollar in maybe the next 6 months, 3 to 6 months. But after then, most of these countries will just go back to using the dollar. But for me as a trader, I really don't care who chooses to do what. I'm just looking for opportunities, whether it's buys or sells. So I really don't care what country chooses to do with their own money. All right. So I don't like holding trades this far in.
Yeah, I saw the request. It's if PM to.
You say what?
Yeah, yeah, I got it. I will send it to Teresa. She's the one who can do that change.
Oh wait. Oh, that's order. Yeah, so given that we are almost at New York Open, so if you're in this position and you made money in the sell and you're willing to get out at break even, feel free to hold. Yeah, I don't like holding trades before New York session or into New York session. But for me, I'll just hold because I have nothing to lose. So I'll just hold this at break even. But if you're looking to secure, now is the time to, and there we go. I did say if we do close above the previous daily high, we should get a spike to the upside. And we did close above the previous daily high, and price spiked, actually gapped up for a buy. So I'm still looking for this to continue to the upside. So there's price coming back down to close the gap and retest the previous daily high. But I like how price opened up with a gap. So that means there's some buyers in that zone. Uh, yeah, this is just a waiting game. I'll have to step off because I have to join a meeting at another meeting at New York Open, but I should be back online at around, actually I'll keep this meeting going, but I'll have to step off at around 9:25 or 28, and then I'll be back at around maybe 9:45. So for the next few days, the live sessions will start like at around 9:45 or at the very least 10 a.m. because I have some meetings I need to join at around 9:30. Have any questions? All right. Yeah. So if you end the day at break even or in profit, trust me, like you've done so much better than a lot of traders out there, because I've literally, blown a shit ton of accounts trying to trade news, because either I would try to keep buying if I get a bullish candle and then I would get stopped out. And then when price came down here, I would try to sell, and then guess what? Price would reverse to the upside. So I was always, feeling like somebody's watching me and just swinging the market the opposite way. But then when I just back tested a ton of news moves, I did see this move. So I moved to the upside, fake out to the downside, and then you have that continuation to the upside. And then every time I did that, I was able to just trade news profitably. So you guys can see when we entered the sell, we literally had no drawdown, even though my trade copier wasn't even on. I tried to enter, but it was too late for me. But when I called the sell, that was literally a no drawdown trade, went straight into profit, went up like 70 pips. And right now, ideally, if you're still in the sell and you're in the buy, ideally you're in profit in both trades. So uh, see. I'm also curious to see the signals out before news. So there was the sell on EU came up after news. So this signals the NAS sell and US30 sell came up. So the US30 sell on the 5-minute came up at 8 a.m. I was curious to see how this signals came up. So that's an hour ago, 13:10, so about 12. Oh yeah. So be careful. So with signals, be careful on using them during heavy news days and also Fridays, because you can see that, for example, this US30. Oh wait, no. It was a US30 buy at. Oh no, this was 8:35 a.m. So that was after news. Give me one sec. So the sell at 8 a.m. Eastern time would have hit stop loss. I'm guessing the NAS sell at 8 a.m. would have also hit stop loss. Let's see, at 8:35 after news, you had the buy on US30. This one, depending on your TP, so 50 pips would have hit stop loss, right? Because ideally, what that signal did, it tried to catch this continuation to the upside. And then for us, instead of using that signal, we caught the sell. Yeah, so be careful about using the signals during heavy news days. So similar to EU, the sell signal, the 15-minute sell signal, right? So for me, when I'm trading news, my analysis will always come before any signal. Now, the only time I would look to trade a signal, right, is like right now when I'm telling you guys, if we do get a 5-minute sell signal on US30, that's the only time I would start considering trading. to look for a sell on US 30. But when actually trading the news event, I don't care about any signals.
Gold's not moving because the holiday, right?
Yeah. So gold is closed. Wait, even I wonder what time the indices close, because this is FTM. Maybe the indices close. Are the indices open today? What time did the indices close? Because it looks like US
There is
30.
there is a lot of other indices that are closed.
Okay.
Yeah.
So at least okay. All right, that's good. So ideally then there's nothing to trade. So I don't even know if there's any need to be in any position. Today, or to trade the live session. So that because ideally the only thing being traded is the FX pairs. Okay. So the other thing, if your FTMO is not a swing account, so you should be good on FTMO challenges, I think. Yeah, FTMO challenges, you should be good. But on a live FTMO account, if your account is not a swing account, I would say if you don't have a swing account and you have a live session, a live account on FTMO, you traded and you didn't close the trade before the closing time. So for me, I don't care about the early closing because the FTMO I have is a swing one. But if the FTMO you have is not a swing one, I would say when the market opens on Friday and you're still holding any trade, I would just say reach out to them because normally what they do, because ideally if you hold on to a trade, is it the swing one? I forget which one it is. For a longer period, longer than 2 hours, I think, it's like a violation of your account. But then what they normally do, they normally convert your account to a swing account. So if you reach out to them and tell them you aren't able to close your US 30, they'll just downgrade your account to a swing account. And ideally, you shouldn't notice any difference. The only difference is that the regular account has like a 1:100 leverage. The other account has a 1:30 leverage, but you literally shouldn't see any difference. And it definitely beats the heck out of losing an account. So yeah, I remember way back, like 2 years ago, I traded one of my accounts. I think it was during Labor Day or something, and I didn't close my indices trade early.
Oh wow,
But
so it's closed for today? I just came back to my computer.
I'm sorry.
Is indices closed for today? Because it ain't moving.
Yeah. Looks like indices is closed and gold is closed. Yeah, so that's what I was saying. I don't know if anybody has any FTMO live account. If you do and you didn't, I know FTMO sent out the closure times yesterday or even the beginning of this week. But if you do have a live account that's not a swing account and you're still stuck in a trade, I would say send them an email. And normally what they'll do, they'll just change your account to a swing account. Because ideally holding a trade will violate your agreement with them. So does anybody have any account, FTMO account that's not a swing account? If not, then don't worry about it. Just keep an eye out on that going out in future. Okay. Nobody has an FTMO funded account that's not a swing account. Yeah, other than that, I don't even think there's any need for us to trade today anymore. So for me, this trade, it's at break even. I'm still gonna hold. If it opens up with a gap to the downside on Monday, then I'll just get stopped out. If it opens with a gap to the upside, well and good. But today, so I did miss the first sell on US30 because my copier wasn't on. But for anybody who entered, but I did call it, anybody who entered and got out when I said to, we were looking for a buy, you should have been up 0.5% for the day. For this current trade, I'm still in the trade, so I'm not going to update. So I just updated the first trade that somebody would have been up like 0.5 for the day. So that's the only thing I updated here. Yesterday, I did send out a recovery trade that ideally took us out of the hole we were in yesterday. But other than that, does anybody have any questions?
So indices is pretty much closed all across the board with every broker, right?
Yes, I think MFF,
Okay.
Audrey told me MFF is closed. Looks like FTMO might be closed as well because my FTMO chart is not moving. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So so the only thing to trade today would be FX pairs. Yeah. I don't think I'll do the live session just to trade an FX pair because they're moving pretty slow and it's Friday and we have a bunch of bank holidays. So yeah, no need for me. I would say if you traded with me, you already made money. So yeah, there's no need for me to even come back on the live session today.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Any other question?
No, bro. Thank you.
All right, I'll see you guys on Monday. So over the next few days, the live session will be starting at around 9:45 or 9:50 because I have to attend some meeting at 9:30, between 9:30 and 10, but it normally doesn't last that long. But I'll see you guys on Monday for another good week. So to recap, ideally, so this week also we have a winning week. Monday we were up 0.5%. Tuesday, Wednesday there was no trading. Yesterday initially we were up we were down minus 1.25, but I did send out a recovery trade on EU that brought the trades back to break even for the day. Today, at the very least, you should be up 0.5%. At the very most, you should be up more than 0.5%. But right here for this tracking, I put the least value. So I don't try to just put a higher value so we can seem like we're winning. But anyway, so if you did take the trades with us last week, we were up 3.25, about 3%. And this week we're up about 1%. So you should be halfway in just 2 weeks alone. You should be halfway through phase one of challenge. Yeah, so it's just baby steps. But other than that, I will see you guys on Monday for another good week. All right.
Okay.
Bye, guys.
All right. The time is that Central or Eastern?
So for me, the times will always be Eastern time.
Eastern time. Okay, gotcha.
For most of the times that I trade, Eastern time.
Okay, beautiful. Okay. All right. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you, man.
All right.